Hello everyone, welcome back. I went to the outlet again, found a ton of stuff, a bunch of the usual suspects, a bunch of movies, DVD, VHS, tons of music this time, and some books, including, I think some stuff got split up as it usually does in that back room. I found the third volume and a couple of trilogies that I found one or two times ago at the bins. I had to sort through those, so that was actually a really lucky find. But starting off with the VHS, some older 80s copies of The Karate Kid 1 and 2. An older copy of The Empire Strikes Back. Always a good find. Heavy Metal. Death Becomes Her. Nickelodeon Ren and Stimpy in Disguise. As soon as I saw this, you know, I was scouring that bin looking for more orange tapes. This was the only one, though. The Hobbit, the animated movie. The sadly massively superior Hobbit, because expanding that into a trilogy was a mistake. Another one where I was searching the bins trying to find the second one because it's a little bit harder to find. We have the Ewok Adventure, known internationally in a lot of places as Caravan of Courage. These are both super underrated movies, or underappreciated, because I think a lot of people going in are expecting Star Wars. And they're very not Star Wars. They're very much a kids, very classical fantasy adventure movie. It's much more what they are. So movies I loved as a kid and still think are great, underrated. Now on DVD, whole bunch of stuff, all stuff that was definitely in some Goodwill somewhere at some point, because they all have stickers, which is always a pain in the butt. But I found Living with Tigers, Finest Hours, a mixture of new ones too, some new ones in here, so it's always a good find. Muppet Treasure Island, Barbie, the Princess and the Pauper, A Turtle's Tale 1 and 2, Blu-ray DVD combo, Diamond Edition, a bunch of Disney stuff here. We have Cinderella, which includes a Tangled short as well, a couple ones. We have Ancient Aliens, Season 1, and then Early Civilizations to Modern Times, History Channel. Some Strawberry Shortcake, newer Strawberry Shortcake stuff. A classic Disney live action that I have never seen before. There are so many of these. We have, what is it, Charlie, The Loneliest Cougar. There are so many that Disney produced, especially the 60s and 70s. I had a ton of them that I watched as a kid and liked, but there's so many more, some of those more obscure ones. Nickelodeon's Olivia, Santa Paws 2, Blu-ray DVD combo, Snow Bunnies, Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue, The Adventures of Milo and Otis. This is a really good set. We have Animated Family Favorites, American Tail, Balto, and The Land Before Time. It's actually a pretty good kids set of movies. A Audrey Hepburn DVD set includes Breakfast at Tiffany's, Sabrina, and Roman Holiday. Meteor, First Impact. Santa Buddies. Spy Kids 3D. Are they remaking Spy Kids? I feel like I remember hearing that. We have Fox and the Hound 1 and 2 30th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray DVD combo. And The Rescuers 35th Anniversary Edition. We have this version. It's really great movies, especially the first one. Sealed copy of Through the Looking Glass, Alice Through the Looking Glass. Weird movie, didn't really like that one. I saw that one. Must Love Dogs. Sleepless in Seattle. A kind of bizarre Indiana Jones double feature. It looks like the sticker will come mostly right off of that one. It is The Last Crusade and The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. If you're going to do a double feature of Indiana Jones, that's a weird combination. There must be a matching set to this with the first two, but I don't know, that's kind of a weird pairing in my mind. A Bridge Too Far, Jason Statham in Crank, some Dragon Tales, the DuckTales movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp, 12 Dogs of Christmas. One 8-track that I grabbed just on a whim because it would have cost me like 2 cents by weight. It's a little beat up, the cover more than I'd like, but Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. It's one that I'm like, for a couple of, pennies, that was worth the grab just in that condition. Republic, a bunch of CDs, some Kid Rock featuring Allison Moore. Cisco, the only thing I know from him is the thong song from when I was in like middle school. Oasis, Sum 41, Seventh Echo, Spice Girls, We have a couple of Spice Girls in here, actually. Very Best of Cher. After I look at the song list here, maybe I might like that one. Jade Anderson. Dido, No Angel. Mariah Carey. Some Jennifer Lopez. Jessica Simpson. I think I have a couple of Jessica Simpsons. Yeah, Spice Girls. Spice. I need to get a new cover for this one. The back's fine, but Jessica Simpson, Sweetest Kiss. The Ramones, It's Live. Really loved the Ramones when I was a teen for some reason. MXPX, whatever the heck that band is. Tooth and Nail Records. Just looks like a good pickup for like a penny. Anne Murray, her greatest hits and performances. A 4-disc selection. And then I found this huge bag in there full of different variations of Leapster games. Let's go through those, but that was fantastic, and it was one of the only non-book things, so the cashier was like, just put it in with the media stuff, and ended up being like a quarter for that whole bag. So like, alright, that's cool, that's worth it. And then a bunch of paperback books, a good variety. We have Han Solo and the Lost Legacy, like that cover. Hawk. A bunch of old detective stuff. There's a bunch there that were just not worth it. I know just off the top of my head that they're not worth grabbing. And a few here that were worth getting. Need a little bit of cleanup. They just kind of a little dusty from the bin. But there are some that were definitely worth grabbing. And like this one has like dust and a couple little, looks like a crayon mark that I can get off very, very easily. But so they were at least worth picking up for that. I mean, everything I got today was like 24 bucks. Like literally everything's gonna be in this entire video, so end up being definitely worth it, even if they're not in perfect shape. Because sometimes, a couple of these, the stack alone is gonna easily pay for the whole trip anyway. I always love when I find antique books. Grace Harlow's sophomore year at high school. The High School Girls series. Let's see when this one was printed. I forget off the top of my head. 1911. Always just kind of an interesting thing to find. Then we have Under Twin Suns. A vintage Popeye. Popeye Goes Fishing. And then we get into some of these fantasy sci-fi books. We have a couple of these Lilith St. Croix books. Another copy of Streams of Silver, Icewind Dale Chronicles. I always pick up for, I don't know, almost pretty much, it doesn't matter what it is, it has that logo, I'll pick it up. First Rider's Call. An older Barbara Hamley, The Dark Hand of Magic. Another one of these Eve books. I think I have another one in here. I have to look through those. And these next two are ones I actually have to go through and find and edit a listing, because I had I think books 2, 3, and 4 of the Arna series, Book of Arna series. Did not find one. Well, this time I found one, so they had to work together at some point. Ends of Pierce Anthony, another series. We'll have to leave those separately there. And as well as some Sarah Douglas, Wayfarer Redemption, which I think is the first book. Maybe off the top of my head, Amanda's read these and she really liked them. Might be one I have to check out. I've always kind of thought the covers were interesting, at least. She's an Australian author, I believe, and I found, found last time as well, one of the Australian versions, Australian covers, which is unusual to find over here. The Crusader, Sarah Douglas. Wolf Hunting. A couple of these, Wolf Captured. Here's the other one, the other Eve of Darkness. And Catherine Kerr, Days of Blood and Fire. A very familiar cover. That's an old Keith Parkinson novel of the Westlands. I've never read any Catherine Kerr before, but as soon as I noticed that cover, I've seen that hanging up like a million times. David Gemmell, Quest for Lost Heroes. That's my one thing with fantasy and science fiction books. I love to read, but same thing, like, I guess with like movies and stuff, there's just too much out there. It's hard to decide what to tackle, and with those two genres in particular, they tend to have just these long series where sometimes there are 600-700 pages per book and there are 15 books in the series, and it's like, there's so much I'd love to get into, but there's just, there's just not enough time in a lifetime. So much good stuff out there. One manga randomly, Sergeant Frog, Volume 1. I think we've seen this one before. I mean, I think the anime, I've never seen it before, but I remember seeing previews for it, probably on some like old like anime DVDs. And then we have Great Captain, the Lincoln Trilogy, older copy of that, so that was a pretty good find. I forget when this one was from as well. I think this was like 30s, 1930s. So originally came out in 27, and then this is from 1930s, that collection. Anyway, a giant pile of stuff again. I was very, very happy. This was much better than the last time I went. Last time was fine if it was like the old bins, which are 10-15 minutes away from me. These are much farther, so it's like, this was great. This was definitely wonderful. Go back a few more times as we're hitting fourth quarter. Look at the end of the year, kind of stock up, and then stop going. So that's fun. You're going to see me on here again, hopefully this week, a couple more times. I know the Patrick Stewart memoir is coming out this week. We pre-ordered that. I don't know, so whenever that pre-order went up. So I'm pretty sure that's coming out this week. And it's gotten mixed reviews, but the new Dragon Quest game is coming out this week. And I'll talk about that when I get it, and then, of course, after I play through it. So that should be interesting. That's coming soon, and yeah, very, very exciting to have a new game for the Switch. I went for the Switch version just because I'm a Dragon Quest to try to focus on Switch. I don't know why, but anyway. So I'll see you guys around.